Team, I know most of you in the room know me. For those who don't, my name is Pete. I am one of the business coaches and also the Chief Coaching Officer at EBS. And I always like to take the opportunity when I'm on stage to say that I do run the coaching department, and that technically Bruiser does report to me in that sense, right? Although the second part of that, I always do say also that occasionally I will take some of his ideas and feedback on certain things. All right. Now, can I get you all, please, team, get fresh bits of paper, fresh pens. We're going to go to a totally new topic, and that is this. What is it, team? Team. Righto. Who over, hands in the air please, who over the last 12 to 24 months has spent more time, or 100% or 200% more time in regards to recruitment of new team? Thinking about it, doing it, hating it, swearing about it, losing sleep over it, etc., etc. Okay, good. Keep your hand in the air, please, if you've spent the same amount of time and effort thinking about how you're going to keep the team that you do have. Okay, good. Well done. So today, team, specifically, we're going to talk about this next word here. Hopefully it works this time. Which is what? Retention. Okay, so it's one thing to get them. Okay, it's another thing to keep them. Okay, so it's one thing to get them, and it's a totally other thing to keep them. Now, just to give you some statistical context on why I want to talk about this today, please, is there's two statistics that I want you guys to write down, and this one you're probably all aware of, is that at the moment in Australia, unemployment is at less than 4%. Okay, less than 4%. Okay, so that means that in the big scheme of things, that the balance of power as it relates to jobs out there is, if it hasn't already in your particular industry, is swinging towards more of the team member rather than the employer. Hands up who's seen that out there in your particular industry. Okay, good. Now, the other stat, team, as well, and this one comes out of a bit of research by a mob called Gartner, is that discretionary effort of team members has dropped by 16%. Now what that means is the willingness of a team member to go above and beyond the specified terms of their contract or agreement with you as the business owner. Okay, so in Australia, the average team member is 16% less likely to do that. Okay, who has seen that in their own teams? Okay. So write those stats down, please. Okay, unemployment under 4%, discretionary effort down by 16%. Okay, now there's a myriad of reasons for that, team, with COVID, fatigue. There's actually sentiment studies from team members out there that indicate that some team members feel like that they've put in a huge amount of effort in the last 2 years with not a lot of recompense back their way, and therefore they're starting to look for other opportunities, or they're going to be requesting extended leave periods. Okay, so applications for extended leave periods have increased. Okay, who's seen that in their business, by the way? Has anyone seen that? Okay, good, a couple of people. Righto, so first activity, guys, for you to do is, what I'd like to know, please, and what I'd like you to discuss around your tables is what current and active retention strategies are you doing in your business? Okay, what current and active retention strategies are you doing in your business? Okay, so around the tables, start with the person with the biggest head of hair. Let's go. And finishing up there. Alrighty. Come back to me, team. Up here, let's go. So, team, what I found from many discussions with a lot of you over the last 6 to 12 months, this has been a bit of an interest point for me, is that I've found that a majority of people will fall into two categories. Okay, so number one is when I ask what active retention strategies are you doing, I'll get a nominal answer on, oh, well, I give a bonus out and we do a team party at the end of the year. Right, and that's about it, right? Who's kind of in that category? Like there's one or two things that I do and they're pretty bog standard, okay? The other category will say something like, I don't know. I actually don't know. But then when they talk about it and flesh it out and go around the table, that actually turns out that they're doing a lot of things, a lot of different strategies. They're just not organised and they're not consistent, right? Who else who's in that category, right? Okay, good. Well, my data's obviously wrong because most of you didn't raise your hand, so I'll go and review that. All right, now, team. So I just also want to go back to the identity iceberg this morning, please, from Bruce's presentation, and I want to talk about this word right here. Which one is that one? Beliefs. Okay, so the other thing that we find coaching businesses is that a lot of people have got some beliefs around how team members should be treated, okay, what they should get, right? And a lot of those beliefs are normally based in how they were treated when they were team members, or something that had happened to them earlier in their life. Who's got some mirroring off that comment just there? Okay, I'm going to treat these team members kind of how I was treated, whether that's good or bad. Now, my belief on this and my challenge to you in the room is in the post-COVID environment with discretionary effort down and dropping and leave applications rising and unemployment dropping, your beliefs around what you could and should be doing to keep your team, they need to go in the bin, right? Where do they need to go? In the bin. Right, the whole thing needs to be reviewed and analysed, right? So these beliefs that you may be holding on this, they got to go. Righto, so next round the table, team, is I want you guys to have a frank discussion, please, around a belief that you have on how a team member should be treated or what they should or could get from your business that you need to challenge yourself on. Okay, so around the tables, start with the person who's the most scarcest with their team. Let's go. And finishing up there. All right, team, I'd love one or two people, each microphone, to cough up a belief that they had on their team and what they've done about to fix it, please, to get some value out to the room. Okay, so one or two people, each microphone. I will volunteer in 5 seconds. It's going to happen. Okay, a couple of people over here. Mick Astle, good for you, mate. Well done. Thank you, Sharon. All righty. Ladies first, yes ma'am.
Good
Name,
morning.
business, and where are you from?
Good morning. I am Vicky, Sunshine Coast, live in Paradise, and I have Halo, which is hair and beauty salons and women's groups and stuff. I have just this week finished having meetings with every one of my staff because a month ago I gave them the task of creating their perfect job. So this week I sat down with each and every one of them and said, okay, what hours, what days, what do you want your job to look like? And let's work towards making it happen. So if they said I want an extra $1 an hour or $5 an hour, we put together some goals that they need to achieve between now and Christmas, not the whole time, but over consistently, and which justifies the income for me to be able to put up their rate. One of my staff said I want a $500 gift voucher at Christmas time because then I don't have to worry about lunch and presents. Another staff said I want us all from our salon to go out to the races and I want you to put other staff in the salon. Another staff said I want to be able to come in when I want, when I have extra clients, but not have to commit to extra days. So they've literally created their own jobs.
Okay, so the strategy there, if I heard you right, is if you've allowed them to choose to build their employment around what they would like.
Days, hours.
Okay.
And obviously they all want more money.
Yep.
But we had conversation around absolutely happy with that, but let's see how we can make that work.
All right, excellent. And just a correction, please, Vicky, on your language. They're not staff, they're team.
They are team. They're actually more than team.
I love that. Okay.
I love them.
What are they, guys? Team. All righto. Excellent. I love it. Give her a hand. Thank you. Jeff, what do you got, mate?
Good morning, guys. So Jeff from the irrigation shop in Slucks Creek, south of Brisbane. So I had to let go of something that was ingrained in me, particularly by the older guys that I was taught, in that you did whatever you had to do to get the job done. Didn't matter if it was in your job description, didn't matter if you even knew how to do it, just get it done. Now, over the past 12 months, I've been challenged on that quite a bit because that's not common anymore. Guys want to do what they believe their job description is or what they believe they're good at, and they don't want to step into grey areas. They don't want to be outside of that defined space. So in terms of what that's actually meant for our team, it's actually meant sitting down with the team members we do have, talking about what they believe their expectations are, putting them against our own expectations, and realistically building a proper org chart that says who is actually responsible for what, so that the guys walked away going, okay, I know this is my job, I'll go and do that. It's still a work in progress because it's still a very new concept, both to myself and to the team as a whole. But at the moment, it does at least feel like we're moving in the right direction. So,
all right. Jeff, can I give you give him a hand? Well done, actually. Good job. So, Jeff, I want to give you something to go and do, please, as an action item. When you get back, like Bruiser did this morning, so I want to see this on Facebook in your particular EUP group, is I want to see you in a video presenting above and below the line to your team, please. Can you do that?
I can certainly try. It'll get them laugh.
Jeff, can you do it? What's your answer, please?
Yes, I can.
Yes, you can. All right, great. Give him a hand. Well done, Jeff. Sharon.
Sharon from Let's Talk Events here on the Sunshine Coast. I'm having to let go of a belief, and that is a belief that everybody is going to work at my urgency. It's been really interesting, and there's been a lot of teasing to team about urgency and what is urgent and what is not urgent and why it's urgent, and then recognising non-urgency in others. But we are doing it in a supportive area, and my team knows to say to me, Sharon, you're being too urgent, and I can also say we need a little bit of urgency, and that seems to be working for us.
Okay, so you've got an agreement on language.
Yes.
Okay, and I love that, Sharon, because if everything is urgent, then nothing is urgent, right? Okay, excellent. Give her a hand. Thanks, Sharon. Lucky last. Yes, ma'am.
Sharon, we have some retail stores and a wholesale business as well. I think the thing that I need to adjust my thinking on is we don't currently incentivise our retail staff based on KPIs. It's quite a discretionary incentive, and I suppose my thinking is that it can be quite difficult to get the right incentive or bonus structure in place because it can bring on the wrong types of behaviours if you get that bonus structure not right. And particularly we really try and create a team environment. So I am gathering along the way that I may have to change that thinking and really try and put in some structured KPIs with financial bonuses.
Okay, so it's a bit more about clarity of the goal is what I heard there.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Sharon. Give her a hand. Well done. Alrighty, now, team, as with everything we do at EBS, there has to be some data, okay, so for you to benchmark your success against if you're going to go and do a retention initiative in your business. Okay, so, and that piece of data, just write this down, please, is very simply the average length of what? Average length of what? So take a note of that, team, is we've got to get data. Okay, if we don't know where the start is, we're never going to know where the finish is. Alrighty, now, as you're writing that down, there's an A3 handout that's at the top of your tables. It's face down. Could you guys just grab that and pass that around, please? Now, as you're doing that, team, just have a listen. So over the next half an hour or so, we're going to discuss all of the different strategies that are on this handout. Okay, we're going to do a discussion on these. And then what my intention or what my outcome for this session, please, is I want people to be on the microphone sharing the really awesome strategies that they've heard or that they have on their table so that we can all benefit from that. Who's up for that? Say yeah. All right, so we're in an environment of sharing, okay? An environment of what? Sharing. All righty. Now, just to go through, team, as well on my flip chart. Ooh. Okay, so I've taken the liberty of developing a new ladder. We love ladders. What's it called, team? The team ladder. Okay, so this is for us to cross-reference and also put your team on, okay, and see where they sit on this ladder. And it's also on the handout there as well. Now, at the bottom here, we start with a candidate. Okay, so that's someone who's coming on board. We move to probationary, team members, rock stars, 7-footers, and then woodwork, because they've been there for so long and done such an amazing job that they're part of the woodwork. All right, you're welcome on that one. I'm renowned for my sense of humour, so there it is. All righty, give me a round of applause on that one. Thank you. All right, good. Very good. All right. Righto, so team, first one we're going to go to is right down the bottom there, which is the non-monetary types of retention strategies. Okay, so these are supposed to be strategies that aren't actually going to cost you in the business a certain amount of money. Okay, so there's not a fiscal sort of cost there. They may cost you in regards to organisation and some logistics, righto, but there isn't a retention strategy behind it that essentially costs you money. Now, the few that I've given some examples on there are, firstly, if you've got a candidate, it's the quality of your onboarding. Hey, when was the last time that you actually reviewed how good of a job you do of onboarding new team members? Okay, are they getting points of culture? Are they getting the correct training? Are they getting integrated and enrolled into your team to the standard that you would like? Okay, so this is something that in larger organisations or as teams grow can deteriorate. Okay, so the quality of onboarding is one of them. You know, do you celebrate the wins? Is there an actual, consistent celebration of the achievements of that organisation or your organisation? Okay, do we, every 90 days, do we do a flip chart like what Bruiser did with you guys this morning? Do you do that with your team? Do you review their goals? Okay, do we celebrate personal things in the workplace when people achieve certain things? Okay, just the other day, we had one of our new coaches, Nolly, who overcome her fear of snakes, right? And she got a booyah from all of us. And I won't be doing that anytime soon, I might add. Now, the other one there, team, is things like memberships. Okay, so clubs, coffee, gym. So there was a great example. I did this with an EUP group, and where's Bernie over here? She gave me a really cool example of this. Now, in Bernie's business, they do flooring. Okay, so they're from Mount Isa. And I haven't been to Mount Isa, Bernie, so don't judge me on my commentary here. Right? However, in Mount Isa, there's a golf club. So if you're going to go and work for Bernie and her team, then you get membership to the golf club. Okay, so now in the broad scheme of things, that may not seem like a huge deal, right? But in the culture of that business and that township and all of those people, it's actually a really powerful thing that they do. Okay, so they all like it, they all enjoy it, they go and play on the weekends, they see their own team members there. Okay, and Bernie, how much is it per year for the golf memberships? $650. Okay, so $650 versus, you know, maybe a bonus scheme that might be $5,000 or $6,000. Who can see a benefit there? Say yeah. Okay, good. Righto, so non-monetary. Okay, so guys, I just want you to get talking around your tables, please, on what are the non-monetary strategies that you have heard of, seen implemented, that you currently do. Okay, we're going to share that around the table, and then we're going to get on microphones and do some more sharing on that because there's some really, really awesome and powerful stuff in non-monetary. Okay, so around the tables, start with the person who is doing no bonuses at all. Let's go. And finishing up there. Alrighty team, 1 or 2 people each microphone. Let's hear some strategies, please, of the non-monetary nature. Doesn't matter if it wasn't your strategy, we're just going to share these teams for the room so we can all get some value out of that. Thanks, Lewis. One more on this middle microphone in the middle here, team. Brendan from Fez, good job. Alrighty, excellent. That'll do. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Rhiannon. I'm from Holloway Air in Bendigo, Victoria. So we've got one thing that we're starting to implement and one that we've been doing for a while. So we're actually introducing a Hall of Fame board into our workspace, and it's going to acknowledge people who've been with us 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and completion of apprenticeship. And we're going to be running like an after-work drinks and celebration, and people get to put their sticker on the board and really acknowledge their time given. Another thing we're doing is we're really concentrating on our Google reviews and increasing those. So every time we get a new review, we put it in our group Facebook Messenger group, tag the person, acknowledge them, what they did great, and really celebrate their great customer service.
All right, so you're actually celebrating them doing their job.
Yep.
In that, I love that.
Yep.
That is a really, really good one. I love that. All right, give Rhiannon a hand. Well done. Helen.
Hi Pete, I'm Helen. I own Skin Deep Medispas in Perth, which is a group of beauty salons and skin clinics. So we've been getting coached for 4 years now, so we do quite a few team building things in the background. But one of the things that when we're doing recruitment that the girls love is the fact that they get free skincare from our suppliers each quarter when they hit their target. So they sell a certain number, they tick them off each week, how many products they sell. And for the girls, not only are they using what we recommend, they're not having to pay for it. So it's a good bonus. It doesn't cost us any money, it costs our suppliers, and we just had to do the deal to get that. But they love it.
All right, I love that. Well done. Give her a hand. Excellent. Lewis.
How you going? My name's Louis from Louis Luxury Detailing in Townsville. With my staffing situation, I basically don't hire anyone between the ages of 24 and 45. So a lot of my younger generation and somewhat of the older generation, a lot of the younger kids that I've got, they don't have access to private health, so we pay for their private health. Another big thing with a lot of the young kids that they don't actually come from very great backgrounds and have parents on drugs and that, we actually take them to the shopping centre and teach them how to shop for food. A lot of the kids that we have come to us and they don't get fed at all. So just teaching them that, what $50 or $100 how much food that can supply you with from a shopping centre rather than the corner store. How long that lasts and how much food you can actually get was a big thing, and they took that on board quite a bit, so that was pretty cool.
All right, I love it, Lewis. Give him a hand. Yes, ma'am.
Hey Pete, Steph from Floorworks in Mount Isa. So you guys have heard how Bernie does the golf membership for us. Not only that, she and Shui also provide, when we hit our quarterly targets, events or like evenings for us. For instance, we're going camping next weekend, and the company is putting on a pig on the spit. We're also finishing up early on the Friday, so we're still getting our full day's pay, however not technically working. So, there's lots of little things like that. Floorworks also does pay for if there's a sponsorship event on, for the Rodeo Queens, for instance, dinner in the round yard. Floorworks will pay for a table, and that covers the meals and also the drinks for the evening. All again covered by the company. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Give her a hand. Yes, ma'am.
So Sarah from Sarah's Physio to Go on the Gold Coast. So just a couple of things we've implemented. So we've started like onboarding folders for our team, and we've introduced the culture points, rules of the game of our own. And we also pick one a month, and we get together as a team and focus on that one. And then every week we do a team powwow, because we're mobile, so we're on the road. So sometimes we can't get together, face to face. So we go through whatever that point is, and also reflect on the wins on the previous week, and then look forward to like this will be on a Monday for the week to come. We do Wellness Wednesdays, which are once a month before work, so that's just whoever wants to join us joins us, and we go through more personal goals and growths and things like that, and write down things in the team diary. We do team lunches, and we always celebrate birthdays, but yeah.
All right.
That's about it.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Well done. Give her a hand. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name's Charlotte. I'm here from Victoria Hill Lamb in Queensland. These ideas are actually not mine, they're stolen. They're from my other half, one of the companies that he worked for in construction. And what they offered is 1 day off a month for your birthday. So the idea is it didn't have to be the day of your birthday, because no one wants a Wednesday in the middle of the week off. It just enabled us to take like a long weekend off, and being able to give somebody an extra day of annual leave is really powerful, particularly for those that kind of count them up throughout the year. The other thing that they did was offer $500 towards your health. So I think it was said today that your health, or my health, is my wealth. So your $500 could go towards paying for somebody's gym membership, or in the case of Stuart, $500 was a new set of golf clubs. And so you can see how that lived all throughout the year and the years to come. Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you. Give her a hand. All right, a couple more. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Shan. I'm a team member from Premier People in Perth. We get given a free me day, which is a day that you can ring up, and it's for no specific reason, just a day for yourself. We also have the ability to work from home, which over COVID was really good, and ongoing it's also good. Another suggestion that came from my table was giving out Uber Eats vouchers, which also helps out people that can't manage to do it on their own.
Free Uber Eats. Where's Dan? All right. Come and see you later.
Thank you.
I love it. Thanks, Sharon. Give him a hand. Mick.
Yep. We do...
Who are you? Where are you from? What's your business?
Mick, Astor's Electrical, Sunshine Coast and South Burnett. We do a Monday morning email to celebrate the wins of the business and the team the week prior. We do monthly breakfast, monthly drinks. We do a acknowledged tenure bonus, so 12 months, 5 years, 10 years. We do birthday shout-outs and beers. Apprentices, we reward apprentices once they come out of their time with tools, and then once they stick with us with 12 months and so on. We do a team day where we work through stuff from the year before, but we turn that team day into a professional development as well. So this year we had Pete come and guest speak to us, and then once a year we do a scrap copper where all of our leftover cable and solar panels and stuff, we cash all that in, recycle it, and then we go and ramp it for the weekend. So,
all right.
Yeah.
I love it. Thanks, Mick. Give him a hand. All right, last one. Ewan.
Yeah, g'day. It's Ewan from Riley Jewellery Creations in Toowoomba. We are a custom manufacturing jewellery company, and something which we've introduced recently since we've got some retail in stock now is our jewellers are allowed to make a piece for stock and put in the window, and when that piece sells they'll get full retail minus a little commission for us. So we've had one of our jewellers in the space of 6 months make an extra 15 grand. So that's a really good incentive for our team members.
All right, I love it. Give him a hand. Well done. Alrighty, the next couple I'm just going to run through because there are actually a few people mentioned them already on the microphone throughout that. So the next one for me is your career pathways and reviews, okay, or the career opportunity. Now, laying out the yellow brick road for someone, even yourself, as we heard this morning from Bruiser, is a very powerful activity. Who would agree with me? Say yeah. All right, now, the other illusion that I have on this particular topic is that a lot of team members out there right? I don't have a stat on this, but my illusion is a lot of team members will, we desire or they would like to have their opportunity. Doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to get it. They just like to know what their opportunity is. And if they end up in a place where they can't see the opportunity or they don't know what the pathway is, they're going to go looking somewhere else for that opportunity. Okay, and that can look like a resignation or a lack of interest or whatever that is for you in your business. Okay? Who's seen that in business or just in their experience, by the way, where someone just kind of went, well, I don't know what I'm going to get here, so I'm just going to decide what I want and go get it somewhere else. Okay? Now, the other side of that is reviews. Okay, so for those who don't know of those people in the room, so my previous life was military. Okay, now, when we used to do on the Special Forces selection courses, we used to do an activity called silent running. Okay, now what silent running is when the candidates on that course, we deliberately deny them of any feedback for the activities that they're doing, okay, for extended periods of time. So for example, you might get told, you know, there's a bunch of sandbags and sand, you've got to take it from over here to over there and build us a base. And that's it, and go. So you don't get told how long it's going to last, what the standard is, how you're doing, anything, right? And the reason that they do that on those courses is that the psychology we're trying to draw out of people is that need for feedback. Most humans can't tolerate extended periods of time without feedback of some kind, even if it's bad, right? And what we used to see on those courses is that eventually, after a period of time, 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, whatever it is, that people start coming over and being sort of like, hey, are we doing this right? Are we doing this? What's happening? Is it good, bad, ugly? What are we doing? Right, and then the staff member or the instructor would just kind of go and walk off, right? And it drives people crazy to the point where people will literally withdraw from that style of course after putting in sometimes years of effort, physical training, psychological, sacrifice with their family, they're all of their dreams on the line, and they throw it in because they didn't get what? Feedback, right? And that can happen in a short period of time. Now, with reviews in your business, that same style of psychology can happen, but it will happen over an extended period of time. 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. And eventually, people have to make up their own mind about how they're going. And that normally is not accurate, right? They'll either say to themselves, I must be the worst person at this job. They don't want to tell me how bad I am. I must suck real bad, so I'm going to go find a job somewhere else. I'm going to quit before they sack me. Right? Or number two, they say, man, I'm doing so well, they don't even need to review me. Right? Like, that's how good I am at this job. They don't even need to tell me. It's unbelievable, right? And then when that person eventually gets a review and it's not good, is that shocking? Yes or yes? Yes. Right? It's shocking. Okay, so reviews and career pathway or the opportunity, very, very important. Who would agree with me? Say yeah. All right, good. Now, next one, team, is what I've sort of called here your leave, holiday, and your flexible working arrangements. Okay, so we heard on the microphone there a few examples. There was once a day per month off for your birthday, which is interesting because I only have one a year, but I'm going to come and work at that place and have one a month. I have a birthday every month. That'll be good. Okay, so I've also seen in this particular realm the flexible hours. We heard the bit of sort of choose your own adventure on the microphone earlier in regards to hours and what I'm going to do. Okay, so that's really, really cool, particularly if you have a role that is outcome oriented. Okay, so it's not like, I don't need to man a phone between 8 and 5. If there's an outcome that I need in my role, okay, that I have flexibility around the hours. Okay, so can I work from home? Can I do remote work? Okay, so is there the opportunity to do that, or do you as the business owner need to do some investment so that your team can do that? Okay, so are you denying them that opportunity because you don't have that set up in your business? Okay, and the other one that was really cool that I actually heard from one of my board members, and she was actually recounting something that they do in another business, was around a culture point in that business or a hobby that they all had. And in this particular business, it was surfing. Okay, so all the dudes that work in this business are all surfers. Now, when there is a certain level of swell event or whatever you call it, I'm not a surfer, don't judge me on the language, right? Hanging 10 and all that, the wipeouts and all that stuff, right? But when there was a certain level of swell event, they would down tools and go surfing, right, as a team. And yes, they came and made that work up later. Yes, they had to come back and get it all done, etc., and they still met targets. But they actually encouraged and promoted that cultural point and that activity that they all did. Who thinks that's a cool idea, by the way? Righto, so there's a lot of power in going and talking to your team members and finding out those things. Okay, so another interesting one, as an example that I've seen, is somebody who hunts. Okay, so at a certain time of the year, there's a certain, breeding or whatever it is that hunters look for, or Google or smell. I don't know how they do it, but whatever. No judgment. And those guys, when they go out, so they actually will tell their employers, it's the season. So then they get opportunities to have a few hours here if they want to drive, a few hours there, or a day here and a day there that accommodates them going to pursue that hobby. Okay, so there's a lot of thinking to be done on individual levels with team members of how you could identify what that is for them and then support it and encourage it. Okay, so that's probably the point I'm making on that, is the supporting and encouraging people's hobbies and activities outside of work. Who thinks that would be a good idea? So yeah. Okay, good. Righto, now I'm going to move on to the development section. Okay, so what is it? Development. Now, I've given a sort of a rough overview of 3 different kinds of development that you could look into for your team members. And the first one being professional. What is it, team? Professional development. Now, the way that I have kind of defined professional development in that it benefits both the business and the person. Okay, so both parties are going to get some form of benefit out of that. Okay, so that might be a certain skill set that the business needs and the person wants, a qualification of some kind. Righto, so something that develops them in a professional manner inside that industry that has got a reciprocal value for both parties. Righto. Now, the next one is educational. Now, with education, the distinction I've made there is that in the educational realm, it doesn't mean it's going to benefit both parties. Okay, so you might have someone in your organisation who just wants to complete a Bachelor of Arts photography or something weird like that, and you support them to go and do that, even though it may not have any direct benefit on their role in your business. Okay, so, or you might ask them to complete an educational course that's going to benefit you in the business, but may not be something that they particularly have wanted to do or needed to do in their life. Okay, so that would be the distinction that I would make on educational. Right, and the last one is personal. Okay, and the definition that I've given is that it directly impacts or benefits the human that undertakes the professional development, and therefore indirectly will benefit the business because you would theoretically get a better human back from that training, okay, or that course. Okay, so I'm not going to go into too many examples on that. At EBS, a certain point along the journey, you'll get sent off to do the program Money and You. That's a great example of a personal development course. Okay, who's done that course in the room, by the way? Heaps of people. All right. So, next discussion team, round your tables. I want to know professional, educational and personal development strategies that you have seen or that are on your table that are really good ideas. Okay, so professional, educational and personal. Round your tables, start with the person who is the most stinging for lunch. Let's go.
Goodbye, girl.
90 seconds, team. 90 seconds. Seconds, team. 30 seconds. Seconds. Start finishing up. And finishing up there. All right, team, literally one person, each microphone, who wants to share something out off their table they just heard that is worthy of the whole room knowing, please. I will nominate, and then you're going to be really up for it. Good on you, Jared. Well done. Looked at me at the wrong time, man. Thanks, Jared. Michelle, good for you. Yes, yes, you, Michelle. All righty. Yes, ma'am.
My name's Jo. We have a property detailing and cleaning business in Brisbane. One thing that we've talked about, because Remy's experienced this year and because we're all lifesavers, is all of our team members having first aid and CPR training, aside from all the other things that we do as well. So that's a big consideration for us moving forward.
Right, so first aid training as part of the deal gig working with you.
Yeah.
All right, love it. Give her a hand. Well done. Yes, sir.
G'day, Pete. Alex, Master Cabinets from Perth. We put our leadership team, our management team, through a 2-year leadership and management course. It was fantastic for them. A lot of our guys haven't even finished your school, myself included, so it was fantastic because they came out with a diploma. The kicker was the state government or federal government paid for all the courses, and we got a little bit of money back to celebrate the wins afterwards. So, yeah, that was fantastic, and I think the team got a huge amount out of it. So,
all right, wins all round. I love it. Give him a hand. Well done. Louis, you're back.
Yeah, I got railroaded. So another one I've had probably 100% success rate is, especially with the younger guys, with a lot of them obviously not going to school or finishing school, bringing the wealth and money saving and everything into the workforce. All the guys that work for me work paycheck to paycheck, so basically teaching them about wealth and how to save money, putting money away, why you put money away, how the banking system works to get loans and things like that. You know, a lot of the kids, after they sort of work with me for a while, some of them are on, you know, $700 a week as a 16-year-old. So knowing what to do with that money is a big thing that I found helped the team, because it felt like they felt like I gave a shit about where their money was going. It wasn't just going to alcohol, or some of the kids ended up buying bikes to get to work and things like that. So just teaching them about wealth and why you're teaching about that, and what's going to happen in the future. And, you know, a big thing for me was probably when I'm 60, I don't believe super will be around. So teaching these kids about, you know, other avenues of income is really big, important thing in this day and age, I think.
All right. I love it. Thanks, Lewis. Give him a hand. Bruce?
Yeah, good evening. Lewis, love what you're doing, mate. I love hearing what you're doing. That's great. Bruce French. I've got two businesses, an online business, Aponico, and the Systems Mentor. One of the things with Aponico, our online business, I have a VA and various people working around the world, empowering them with courses such as whether it's Facebook, whether it's Excel, whether it's those different things. We've done a bit of that, which has then created, I suppose, more value for themselves and then also more value for us. But the other thing I've noticed a lot from the other side, working with businesses from a systems perspective, is it's nice to have the beers on Friday afternoon and those sorts of things, but that's icing on the cake. When you have clarity and good communication and structure within an organisation and people feel they are working well with others, all of a sudden that creates a unit where you can get much more retention and people feel as if they're working well together. And so creating that clarity within role and within the value that they're adding makes a massive difference.
All right, I love it. Thanks, Bruce. Give him a hand. All right, Jane.
Hello everybody, Jane from Catalyst Accounting and Tax in Warwick. I have a dumb tax story to share and a positive story to share. So my dumb tax story is that I assumed if I had given someone a course to do that they would just do it. But with no skin in the game, I had to learn this one twice. I had two team members not complete their course because they had no, one, I believe, skin in the game, and two, bigger understanding of the why. So I've got clearer on my communications of clarity, and recently we have agreed to pay for two of our senior managers to do Money and You and their spouses in lieu of their profit bonuses, and they are very engaged and lots of skin in the game and a way better outcome, I think, for everybody. So.
All right, I love it. Well done. Give her a hand. Thanks, Jane. Michelle.
G'day, Pete. So what we do need to do is improve in this area. We've gone from, as I mentioned earlier, a commission model to having team, and we don't want to lose that team. They're fantastic, including, as I said, our admin. I think one of the things we do try to do well is treat them like family, and bring them to EUP, to forums like today, where they can hear what we're talking about and what we're trying to learn, so they get to understand it as well and see where we're heading. And that's something I'm proud of, because we've got all of the flip chart, a lot of flip charts are up on the walls, and we talk about those principles, but I think I know we still need to do better.
All right. So you're kind of leveraging the EBS community and learnings into your business.
100%, and okay. I hope that Susie's actually been here to Mad Day, and also, I don't know where you are, Suze, but she's been here to Mad Day and Forum twice, and even today hearing Susie talk about her goals and say that that's dropped off for her, and to hear her say today that she needs to refocus on that, something that she always normally does, is empowering to me, because then that's something that she wouldn't be doing if we hadn't have asked her to come along to this.
All right, I love it. Thanks, Michelle. Give her a hand.
G'day, Poiter. Thanks for the nomination, mate.
You're welcome.
Love the energy up there too, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
My name's Jared Dan from Beauty and the Beard Eats and Events. We're in Gympie with a barbecue shop, which is pretty cool. Like Peter obviously looked at me because I don't probably do a great job in this area, but we've just recently had to hire some new chefs, and I really had to challenge my idea and beliefs around what chefs do and what chefs are, because it's really hard to get chefs in our industry. So we're currently working through a strategy of a 4-day work week for our chefs, as well as another one which I just added was a 4-hour front of house shift, so they can, I'm calling it a smile shift, so they don't have to smile for 4 hours. So. Yeah, so in terms of development, I think we can definitely do a lot more like Michelle, I believe that this is a really great opportunity in this room and in this group. So for me, one of the highest praises or the highest development that I can give to my team is invite them along to this journey with us. So yeah, thanks guys for that.
All right, thanks Jared. Alrighty, so team, the last two there that you've got on your handout, which we won't do a huge deep dive in, they're relatively self-explanatory, is firstly your monetary. Okay, so that's just your regular bonus packages based on salary or however you do that. There's performance, there's loyalty, there's combinations of both. Okay, so just your standard monetary bonuses. And then the flip side of that coin as well is what else could you do to save your team members some money? Okay, so not necessarily having to increase wage or increase package, but what could you do to help reduce their expenses? So could you do some more salary sacrifice? Okay, so there is quite an extensive list of things that you can salary sacrifice, which I'm not going to get into, but there's normally more out there than what most people are aware of. Okay, so it's a great area to explore. Right, and then the last one there, which we have heard with Rhiannon earlier, is tenure. Okay, so acknowledgement of tenure, hugely, hugely powerful. Okay, so I heard around, it was a Toyota dealership. I think someone of our amazing Toowoomba-based clients was telling me about this. And in this particular Toyota dealership, that they did 5-year, 10-year and 15-year clubs. And there were certain benefits that the person or the team member got when they reached those milestones, like holidays away and days off and access to et cetera, but it was all based off the tenure. Okay, so the other strong point on that as well is public acknowledgement. Okay, so public acknowledgement, Hall of Fame, the board at work, or the announcement. Okay, so I give an example of, there's one of the guys that I coach who has a larger business, about 60 team members, and we were talking around retention, and he said to me, I've not done any work in this space at all. I don't even consider it, right? And I said to him, what's the longest tenure of one of your team members? And his longest serving team member was 12 years, right? Guy had been working for him in that business for 12 years. And I said to him, what have you ever done or what have you done to acknowledge his service? Like, what happened when he got to 10 years? And his answer was 0, right? Nothing. Not even a high five, not even a bloody thumbs up in the corridor. Nothing. Right, so he was, when he really understood the gravity of this, and he actually got quite emotional on this call, with me. There was tears and all this stuff around him, and he felt as the business owner that he had let his team down, okay, because of the service that they had given him and his lack of awareness and giving back to them to acknowledge that service. Okay, and he went and then rectified that with that team member who was actually pretty fired up about the whole situation and was hugely grateful and thankful when it was rectified. Okay, so he kind of stopped probably what was a train going in the wrong direction by correcting that error. Okay? So tenure, very, very important. Okay, so team, that's retention. Okay, so who's got some good ideas out of that, by the way, of things they could or should be doing in their business? All right, so last round your tables, team, on retention today is top 2 learnings. I just want you to spit them out to your team. What did you get out of that session, or what are you going to go and implement into your business? Okay, so top 2 learnings or distinctions. Start with the person who's going to retain the most people. Let's go. Righto, so team, a couple of more things before we head off to lunch. Just as more of an announcement, a pretty exciting announcement I might add as well, is in the background, Team EBS, we've been working on providing a solution to a problem that we have seen. Now, this challenge or this problem is in relation to grants, grant applications, grant funding, etc., etc. Who's had a pig of a time with a grant in their life, by the way? Okay, good. Who'd like some help with that, by the way? Okay, good. There's a very excited person in the room right now on that. Now, what we have seen, team, over the last couple of years is that normally there's a couple of things that will happen that stops people from being able to get access to grants. And number one, and write this down team, number one is I don't have enough leverage, don't have enough time, because I've got to write it myself. Okay, so number one, I don't have enough leverage. And number two is I just don't understand what grants are out there, whether they're applicable to me and whether I'm eligible for them. Okay, so number two is essentially a lack of knowledge or a lack of understanding of the grant space. Okay, so what we have done, team, is we have partnered with an organisation, right, and we are going to be launching this capability of the EBS grant writer. Okay, who's excited about that? Say yeah. All right, good. Now, there's going to be further details down the track, team, so please don't ask me whether, you're 300 turnover and 75 applications and what for you specifically, okay? I don't know that information. But however, I'm just going to give you some examples here of stuff that is currently available from federal and state government. Okay, so for example, we have, in the federal space, we have this matched funding Oz Industry Entrepreneurs Program, okay, with match funding up to 20 grand. That's available this year. It's available right now. Okay, and then also for my agricultural dudes, some farm management grants with rebates up to $2,500. Now, in Queensland, specifically, we have these three. Okay, so we've got a growth fund, 25 to 50K, with 25% contribution from applicants. We've got the Ignite Ideas Fund with 2 tiers of support there. Right, and there's also the manufacturing grants of up to 200K. Righto, in Northern Territory, they just want you to leave, so $200 to get on a plane and just get out of here, please. Yeah. Righto, in Western Australia, we've got this value add investment program, which has got a huge amount of funding allocated for it, 30 to 750,000 in that particular grant. And then last but not least, good old Tasmania, who are offering up to 60K for the continuing professional development in an organisation. Okay, so who thinks that's pretty cool, by the way? Right, who'd like to be able to get access to some of that coin? Okay, good. So downstream team, in the next 90 days, we're going to be doing a webinar. Okay, we're going to try and organise, or sorry, we're not going to try. Sorry, Jeff, bad language. We are going to organise this in a way that is accessible and organised and understandable. Right, and then we are going to be helping facilitate this through this capability. Okay, so who's excited about that? Say yeah. All right, good.